Once Yuan Kongye wants to stop and rest, he will use an origin bullet to force her to fight. If Yuan Kongye is extremely angry and comes to fight him, he will run away without looking back. After each such consumption, Yuan Kongye's hidden injuries became more serious. As for Zhang Yi, he found a place, took out food from the mutant space and ate it silently. This was like an action of staying up all night. Zhang Yi injected himself with stimulants. This military stimulant can not only improve physical fitness, but also make the nerves excited. It doesn't matter if he stays up for 3 days and 3 nights, he can afford it. Once he waits until the end of this grand hunt, he will get a huge reward, the source power of an Epsilon-level mutant. That is the essence of the source power of dozens of mutants. Yuan Kongye staggered and continued to flee in the wind and snow. She lost her direction, her eyes turned completely gray, and she couldn't see anything for a long time. In the haze, she could only escape by instinct. On the second day, she instinctively found a department store supermarket buried deep in the snow. But just when Yuan Kongye was about to go in and quickly find some food to replenish her physical strength, a rocket accurately shot here and burned all the supplies. Yuan Kongye had already become numb, but she was still a little broken in the face of this scene after being hungry for a day. She turned her head and looked into the distance with her gray eyes. Zhang Yi stood on a low hill carrying a rocket launcher in his hand, looking at this place with a smile. A wisp of green smoke came out of the rocket launcher, and the smell was called despair. Yuan Kongye's face was expressionless. She raised her hand and swept it, and the raging blizzard swept away as if to destroy the entire mountain. But no matter how raging the storm was, it could not get close to Zhang Yi. In front of him, 2 huge dimensional gates formed a triangle to protect him, invulnerable to all methods. "Don't you give up," Zhang Yi asked lightly. "Everyone around you is dead." "Your parents are dead, Zheng Yixian is dead, and tens of thousands of followers of the Snow Worship sect have also been killed by you. If you are alive, will anyone love you? Even if you get everything, you are still a lonely person. Everyone died because of you. Don't you have a trace of guilt in your heart? In fact, the person who deserves to die the most is you." Yuan Kongye listened to Zhang Yi's words silently, her face expressionless without any answer. After sending out a storm that swept the earth, she turned around and continued to flee far away. Zhang Yi didn't care and chased slowly from behind. "You can really run. Well, let's see how long you can hold on." Yuan Kongye, who had lost her direction, was like a headless fly, running completely on instinct. On the 3rd day, she came to the edge of Tianhai City. At this time, she was extremely weak, and her small face, the size of a palm, was whiter than snow. In 3 days, she had not eaten anything. Whenever she found something, it would be destroyed by Zhang Yi. She couldn't stop to rest, because she knew that Zhang Yi's gun was secretly pointed at her head. Despair, incomparable despair. This feeling is like being cut by a very blunt knife. It will slowly pierce your skin first, and then cut your flesh and shave your bones bit by bit. If Yuan Kongye had met a stronger mutant than her and been killed directly by him, she might not have been so painful. However, what she met was a dogskin plaster. This made her extremely unwilling but helpless. "Zheng Yixian, how nice it would be if you were still alive." She staggered to a snowy mountain and slowly walked up the mountain. Zhang Yi was just 1,000 meters behind her, slowly following her. Compared with Yuan Kongye, his condition seemed very full. He injected himself with 2 injections of stimulants, so his nerves were more active than usual. He had enough confidence to drag it until Yuan Kongye couldn't stand it first. Looking at Yuan Kongye's condition, he knew that he was not far from the final victory. Yuan Kongye walked to the snowy mountain, feeling the cold wind blowing across her cheeks. Although there was a hint of cold, it didn't make her feel uncomfortable. But she was too sleepy. Even the severe cold wind and snow couldn't stop her sleepiness. Countless times she couldn't even lift her eyelids. But every time she was about to fall asleep, a black bullet would come from a distance and aim at her head. "I'm so tired. I'm so tired," Yuan Kongye murmured to herself. At this moment, she was desperate and pitiful, and her small face was full of grievances. It was as if she was a girl next door who was bullied and wanted to seek protection. "God, am I not your most loyal believer? Please save me!" Yuan Kongye clasped her hands together and prayed to the God in her heart. But no voice responded to her. Why? Why doesn't God give me instructions? Did I do something wrong? But everything I do is to create a pure and unpolluted world. Zhang Yixian, what should I do? Can you tell me? At this moment, she was no longer like the cold and holy leader of the snow worship sect. She was just a helpless girl. In a trance, many faces appeared in front of her. Her parents smiled and stretched out their palms to her. Aye, go with your parents. We are going to heaven. The next moment, Zhang Yixian told her seriously, Aye, wake up quickly. Yuan Kongye suddenly realized that the face in front of her had changed again. Yuan Kongye could no longer hold on. She was sleepy and hungry, and her body had become an empty shell. All the people you cherish around you are dead. All the people who love you are dead because of you. What is the meaning of you still living? If you die, you can see them. Yuan Kongye's body staggered. She struggled to walk to a dead tree and slowly leaned against it and fell down. Zhang Yixian. She chanted Zhang Yixian's name. I'm hungry, Yuan Kongye murmured, and then slowly closed her eyes. In the distance, Zhang Yi saw Yuan Kongye fell asleep, silently raised the gun in his hand, aimed at Yuan Kongye and fired a shot. Buzz tilde! The bullet stopped 1 meter in front of Yuan Kongye, shook twice and fell on the snow. Not dead yet? Zhang Yi said lightly. He stared at Yuan Kongye cautiously, but did not dare to approach rashly. The injured beast is the most dangerous. If Yuan Kongye was really going to die, her counterattack before she died must be the most violent. He was not in a hurry at all. Zhang Yi had run out of the origin bullets in his hand. He took out an anti-material sniper rifle from the mutant space and aimed at Yuan Kongye's body. Only aim at the body, not the head, because this thing is too powerful. If it hits the head, it will definitely be destroyed directly. That will affect Zhang Yi's absorption of her origin. After a few minutes, Zhang Yi tried to fire the first shot. Yuan Kongye, the first super-level mutant in Tianhai City, was finally exhausted by Zhang Yi. The large-caliber sniper bullet penetrated her body. No, to be precise, it tore her body apart. This scene looks a bit cruel. A young girl was torn in half. But facing such a powerful and terrifying mutant, Zhang Yi had to do it. There was no mercy on the battlefield. Even the dead had to be treated with caution. And such an ending was not inhumane to her, because she was the biggest black hand behind the zombie tide in Tianhai City. Because of her, at least millions of people in Tianhai City died in the mouths of zombies. All this was the price she should pay for ignoring human life. Seeing the last scene, Zhang Yi finally confirmed that Yuan Kongye was dead. His eyes were already full of bloodshot. He himself hadn't closed his eyes for 4 days and 3 nights. If it weren't for the drugs, he would have fallen to the ground like Yuan Kongye, and he would even be worse than Yuan Kongye. Zhang Yi stood up, suppressed the excitement in his heart, and slowly walked towards Yuan Kongye. A journey of 100 miles begins with a single step, and the last step to success is the farthest. He didn't want any accidents to happen. Zhang Yi carefully observed the surroundings and confirmed that no one was chasing him. Even if someone came, he was not afraid. Although his spirit was almost at its limit, his supernatural power was still abundant. No matter who came, his divine power could annihilate them. After the death of Bian Junwu and Yuan Kongye, no one in the entire Tianhai City could be his opponent. Next, as long as he absorbed Yuan Kongye's essence, he would become a more powerful and unparalleled mutant. I am not very interested in how powerful I become. But if having power is the only way to protect myself and survive, I will pursue a stronger power. Zhang Yi walked to Yuan Kongye step by step, and he was very careful throughout the whole process. It was only 2 kilometers away, but he walked for more than 10 minutes. When he came to the broken girl, the head with closed eyes was under the tree. Zhang Yi took a deep breath and put his right hand on Yuan Kongye's forehead. The next moment, an indescribable huge power flowed into his whole body along his palm. It was like a rushing river roaring in his body. Zhang Yi opened his eyes, and his right eye burst into a dazzling light, even lighting up the surrounding space. At the same time, a hint of extremely dark light appeared in the dark pupil of his left eye. After an unknown amount of time, Zhang Yi absorbed all of Yuan Kongye's remaining abilities. He felt that his power had become even stronger, and a blue, flashing light covered his body.